Hey everyone, we're here with Nash Stopko from Palmer Chiropractic College in Davenport, Iowa, the Fountainhead. And I got introduced to him from our mutual friend Nicholas Lim, and I got excited because I see a lot of the pictures you guys are posting in chiropractic and training and all that. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? What got you to chiropractic?
So for me, my chiropractic story started with my sports career in my undergrad. So for me, staying on the field, chiropractic was a huge part of that for me. Um, I got connected with an upper cervical doc in Cedar Falls, Iowa. His name's Dr. Troyer. And through him, I was able to actually learn philosophy from ground one. And then from there, I was able to see the true value of the philosophical point of chiropractic and the amazing results you can get from there. And then decided after that I was going to Davenport for Palmer College of Chiropractic.
Awesome. The philosophy is the grounding center of what we are. And if we want to, you're at the fountainhead, but the reality of what fountainhead really is where the wellspring of life of chiropractic is, and that is the philosophy. I'm so happy to hear the first words really out of your mouth are the philosophy. What do you see? What do you see as the philosophy of chiropractic then?
Philosophy of chiropractic to me is just truly getting somebody in touch with their innate, you know,
Yep.
having them understand the true value and power that their body has to heal itself, and where we stand in the process of clearing up that interference for them and helping them become a better version of themselves and live their life to their fullest potential.
That's it. When there's stress on the nerve system, there's no way to be who you are meant to be.
Correct.
Me, you, or anybody, or anything else, any animal, anything that has a central nerve system. That's awesome. And so how far along are you right now in school?
So right now I'm currently in ninth try out of 10. So I'll be graduating here in June 2020.
Nice. That feels good, doesn't it?
Heck yeah. Yeah, I'm ready.
And what have you been doing? What's driving you, the driving force of you in school now?
So I've been fortunate enough to be surrounded by a bunch of classmates and as well as brothers in the fraternity that I'm in that stoke my fire and help push me to become a better doctor, clinician, better man in general, just to work as hard as I can and, like I said, be the best version of who I can be, and for my patients and hopefully for my family someday, just to represent the profession to the fullest.
And that's, I mean, you're so eloquent in that, and it's just amazing of, being a man, being a server, being a chiropractor, for me being a father and also a husband. It's all that is one thing. It all has the same mission. Have you come up with a mission statement yet for yourself and your practice?
I'm still kind of working on it. It's a work in progress. We've had a few assignments in school where I've had an opportunity to kind of really start really trying to get that mission statement idea in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's going to be formed around my duty as a servant to my community and where I want to be and what I want to be able to invoke in people.
Mm-hmm.
I know that those are some really core values that I hold to myself and what I really want to be able to do for people.
That's great. That's great. My mission statement has gone through a lot of twists and turns, and really I got so focused and really just became one line, two lines really, is to serve mankind and to create a heavenly earth. And if we're adjusting people, clearing out that neurology, people are better. I see a utopia coming from chiropractic.
Amen. Yeah.
Amen. And, BJ said, we're going to clear the prisons, we're going to clear the insane asylums and all those things. And, really, I see people getting off of drugs and really having a new world. Is there anything that you would give, you'd tell a chiropractic student or somebody potentially becoming a student, what kind of input would you give them?
One thing that has been kind of like a revelation or some kind of coming to sort of grounds with who I am and becoming who I want to be is kind of just eliminating as much fear as I can and meeting fear head on. So when I can meet that fear and address it, it's something that I can overcome and it makes me better.
Yeah.
So in fearing no body or no person or no subluxation, that's something that to me has been pretty pivotal with what I've been trying to do with my technique and as far as how I can address the stresses in my life. So not letting those rule me, I rule my fears essentially.
Fantastic. I'm so happy to hear that from you. When we get out of our own way, there is
Exactly.
limitless potential, right? We close
Yep.
our own doors or open them, and it's up to you and it's up to me as an individual. That's awesome to hear. On our morning, we do a morning podcast,
Mm-hmm.
visualizations and meditations. And this morning's one was stepping out of our fears, transcending it, and seeing our bodies, seeing the world, seeing through the shade of
The
fear,
blind.
the blinders. Yes, that's all we see is that minute part right in front of us. So that was our meditation today. So thank you for cluing that in too. That was awesome. So when you said technique, what have you been working on? What has what resonates with you as a chiropractor now?
So I go back to my my roots a little bit with my doc that I worked with in undergrad. So he was a knee, chest, upper cervical guy. So from the start, I was able to see the miracles that can happen just through clearing those C1, C2 upper cervical level.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do it specifically the right way, that's just, you see amazing stuff happen.
Absolutely.
So I'm still in the process of honing my skills. I'm still practicing full spine and everything, but I always hold that upper cervical concept of making sure that that is the most critical level to check and make sure it's subluxation free. So that's something I really try to work on, and I'm lucky enough to where at Palmer here we still have toggle in our curriculum, so the
Yes.
HAO technique. So that's our first technique that we learned. So having that as like the most fundamental part of my technique is, where I at least try to stem everything from.
Well, that's really good to hear too. I was at Life University, and they took out. We had toggle for 2 quarters. We had Grostic for 2 quarters, and they cut out the Grostic part. And I think they decreased the number of. I think they might still have 2 quarters of toggle, but learning that upper cervical, understanding it, and knowing how it is to adjust it properly. My mentor was Clarence Jensen. He was at Clearview at Palmer.
Okay.
I think it was in the 1950s. He was there, and he taught me Palmer specific and refined my toggle. And there is the greatest magic you see of clearing an atlas. It happens in the other parts of the spine as well, don't get me wrong, and be a master at adjusting them all. But you're clued right into it as really in being a master of understanding that bone. So those 2 bones, atlas and axis.
Right.
And so good for you. Have you seen any miracles yet in clinic and that type of thing when you're adjusting?
Well, it's funny you say that. So we started our clinical process with outpatients in 8th try. And my very first patient that I had come in that I was able to sit in on and actually kind of get my hands on with too was a guy. He was actually having some sexual relations with his significant other. And at the time, he actually, what this was going on, he had a just insanely abrupt headache that just came out of nowhere in the middle of their intercourse or whatever. And he came to us, and he explained the whole process, and felt bashful about it, but he was like, hey man, I understand there's just crazy stuff that can happen, but we'll see what we can do for you.
Real life, man. That's real life.
Yeah. And adjusted his C1 and came back. I think we had to come back 2 days later just to check up on him, and all systems were go after that. So
awesome.
That was a pretty cool one, right from the start. So,
well, we laughed a little bit about that, but you realize
right.
You save a relationship. A man who, if that was happening and a cascade of that, maybe the rest of his life, you really transform that human being's life, right? For his relationships for the future, for his own self, how he interacts with people and everything. That really transforms that that individual's life, and maybe all the lives around him, his relationships. So we think of that's a small thing, maybe whatever
Well,
it is, but you
well, for some.
transform that person's life and his relationship. So you every adjustment we give, we don't know how far reaching it really is. So fantastic. um, so where do you see yourself going from here now, from student to almost not a student? You hear my son in the background over here, but where are you going to go next?
So for me, I'm still trying to figure that out. I don't really have anything super set in stone yet.
Mhm.
You know, I think where I'm at with what I'm at my learning process, I still think I have a lot to learn. And I
Absolutely.
think I'll always be learning.
Hmm.
But there's still a lot of stuff that I just don't really have a good grasp on as far as how to truly run a good clinic. So I think after school, I'm still looking for an associateship somewhere. We've been kind of looking in the Kansas City area, but that's still pretty up in the air. So
Yeah,
I'm doing some traveling here over the next couple weeks and months, and hopefully going to get that really figured out here soon.
that's good. Well, I just posted that I'm hiring an associate myself, and we're probably going to open another office by next year. But
Wow.
so just keep us in mind. But we're in sunny Florida. It's not as cold as it is up there.
Hey, that's not a bad thing as far as I'm concerned.
Not far from the beach either.
All right, right on.
Well, any other tidbits of wisdom? You shared a lot, and it's really appreciated, because a lot of students, they kind of feel alone too in those things, because the philosophy is put to the side or poo-pooed in a lot of areas. So just hearing this goes out to a lot of different schools. So any other little bits of wisdom you'd like to share?
I mean, I just want to at least send that olive branch to anybody out there that may feel alone. You feel free to contact me whenever. You can contact me Facebook, Instagram, however you like. We're out here, us true people who want to represent the profession the way it was meant to be, and keep pushing, turn that power on, So
And keep training and training and
yeah,
training.
hone your craft, never be complacent,
Mhm.
always be hungry and keep learning.
And, for me, I've been in practice 15 years. I'm continually improving. I have my seminar. I teach innate adjusting. I've trained with Arno my whole chiropractic life. And,
Wow.
all these things, you're constantly improving. And then share it. You even improve when you share. So I really appreciate you, man. I can't wait to meet you face to face.
Heck
And
yeah.
you're a rock star. Keep on serving, all right?
Appreciate you, Doc. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And, share this podcast, everybody, and like it and subscribe, and send me a message. I want to hook up with you if you want to get on the podcast too. So I love and appreciate you all, and God bless you, and keep serving.
Keep serving. Have a good day.